Good morning, everyone. So I'm Kushal Saha. I'm currently associated with the Information Systems area here at XLRI Jamshedpur as a faculty member. By training, I'm an engineer. Then I did my MBA from IIM Bangalore, worked for some time in the industry as a IT consultant. Then I completed my PhD in Information Systems from IIM Calcutta, worked with one of the new IIMs. And after that, I joined, and since then, I have been working with XLRI Jamshedpur. So in this particular institute, I've been teaching courses like Management Information Systems, Digital Transformation, Blockchain Technology, Machine Learning, Artificial Intelligence, and related courses. So that's something about my brief background about me and my profile. A lot of different changes which are happening in the environment. A lot of different technologies are coming, different tools and techniques are getting introduced. Now, at this particular point in time, what organizations are expecting from their HR professionals that they would be able to implement this new set of technologies, tools and techniques which are coming into the market, and they would be able to effectively take care of their organizational requirements. But when we see outside, what we see, a lot of these organizations, they're really ill-equipped. In what sense? The HR professionals, they do not really have exposure. They do not really have got the chance to get exposed to the new set of skill requirements, which would help them integrate their traditional ways of doing certain set of things. Along with this, how to integrate the new ways, new, kind of analytics, AI, ML based decision making, and all of these things put together. They're not really sure how to take care of, how to make effective, more optimal decisions in this changed circumstances. So we have identified this particular gap, and accordingly, we have tried to identify that, okay, what are the things that we can, what are the trainings, what are the skills that can be imparted to these HR professionals so that they can come out of the comfort of their traditional way of taking care of different HR requirements, and also they would be having exposure to the new age skills. So they would be able to put together the best of both worlds, and still they would be able to come up, with very optimal kind of decision making in this changed environment. So with those requirements kept in mind, we have tried to design this particular module, this particular program. So this particular program, basically, if I look at a very, and if I try to take a bird's eye view, what we would be seeing is this basically takes care of two different modules. On one side, we are going to talk about digital transformation, what are the emerging technologies, what are the limitations, what they can do, they cannot do, etc. On the other side, we are going to get into the depths of HR analytics, what are the tools and techniques, what recent AI interventions can be taken care of there, what are the changes which are going to happen in the HR workspace in the near future, and how this new set of tools, techniques, skill sets that we're talking about, so how those would be able to help the HR professionals make better decisions to manage their workloads in a much more effective way going forward. So that's roughly the premise on the basis of which this particular program has been designed. As I was talking earlier, this particular program has been designed on two main pillars. One is digital transformation, the other one is HR analytics. Okay. Now, comparing with other set of programs which are being offered in the market, in this particular case, what we have tried to do is we have tried to come up with a very optimized kind of pedagogy. And what is the objective? We're going to maintain a perfect balance between concepts and hands-on experiences. So basically, not only we're going to talk about what are the underlying concepts, why we think those particular set of concepts would be applicable in a particular case, but along with, we are also going to provide ample opportunity for the participants to go for hands-on exercises so that they will be able to apply those particular set of concepts or theories to maybe a new problem they're encountering at the workplace. So this is on one side. On the other side, there are special sessions which have been designed, which would be taking care of all the emerging topics. In the sense, there are the most recent emerging topics which people are talking about in the HR space. Some people would be talking about what is going to be the future of work, what kind of implications algorithmic HR would be bringing to the organization, what kind of usage of generative AI, what are the concepts or implementation implications which would be there for organization. So platform HR and all related stuff, whatever is current, all those set of topics, we are going to assign specific sessions to cover the implications of all these upcoming topics. In addition to this, see, there are going to be a set of sessions which will be covering the basics of maybe statistics, which would be covering the basics of analytics. We're going to talk about descriptive and predictive analytics. We're going to be cover a little bit of prescriptive analytics, all the set of stuff. That's okay. There are going to be hands-on exercises within the sessions, but then towards the end of the course, what we are going to do is there's going to be a field work. Now, when we talk about field work, here what we are planning to do is individuals interested in a particular process, in a particular aspect of HR. So we're going to team them up. So there may be a team of maybe 4 or 5 individuals who are going to take care of a real life problem context starting from the beginning to the end. So they're going to collect the details. They're going to decide on what particular problem they're going to solve. They're going to decide on which tools or techniques they're going to use. They would be analyzing the data, and then ultimately they're going to take care of what kind of insights that can be culled from that particular data analysis and how those can be implemented in organizational context. What is the objective in this particular case? Now, when you are putting participants growth through this entire different phases of problem solving in a particular organizational context, what happens? These people would have a crystal idea of how they're going to take care of similar kind of situations when they get into their actual workplace and they try to solve a particular real life problem on their own. So these are certain set of things which I consider they are going to set this particular course, this particular program apart from any other programs which are being offered in the marketplace. See, when we talk about tools, basically we are thinking in terms of applications. Okay. Now, tools and techniques, both these things would be very important. So how we are going to cover these things in this particular program is, we would first be covering the basics. We are going to cover the concepts where we are going to say that, okay, these are the contexts and in which these particular concepts or theories are going to hold. These are going to be the assumption saying that, okay, based on this assumption, so that the participants would be able to differentiate that, okay, in this particular context, this particular technique can be implemented, or in this particular context, we would probably have to look for a different kind of technique. Okay. Now, how do I differentiate between technique and a tool? Techniques are going to be statistical techniques or mathematical techniques, right? Tools are the ones, these are basically the software interfaces. Okay. Now, when we talk about tools, or when we talk only about tools, we often forget about techniques. Same technique can be implemented by different set of tools. Okay. In this particular program, the point that I mentioned that, okay, we are going to maintain a delicate balance between the theory or the concepts part and the application part. Towards the application part, we are going to provide equal focus on both the tools and techniques part. Okay. So we are going to give them exposure to the entire set of techniques, and we are going to help them in finding out that, okay, which particular set of softwares would be able to implement those particular set of techniques. Now, coming to the software part, there are certain issues in terms of availability of softwares to this particular set of participants. Now, what do I mean here? Most of the statistical softwares that we talk about, these are, there's no guarantee that this particular set of softwares would be available to these participants also in their workplaces, because these are subscription based, or you would have to buy those particular set of softwares. We are going to take them through a particular, how do they implement this particular set of techniques through a generic set of softwares, generic set of tools, so that just because they do not have access to a particular software, they do not face a particular situation where they're not being able to implement a particular technique. Now, talking about this particular part, when we are thinking in terms of what particular set of softwares or tools that we're going to use in this particular case, We're going to make extensive usage of Microsoft Excel to capture data, to clean up data, to analyze data. And we are going to, when we are talking about Microsoft Excel, we are going to make extensive use of different add-ons which are available for Microsoft Excel to enhance its functionalities. As a statistical package, we are going to use SPSS or any one of other alternatives. For visualization and stuff, there are a certain set of sessions which have been dedicated for to take care of visualization and related skill sets. So in those particular set of sessions, where we are going to use is, so basically we'll be taking a look at Tableau as the software interface to take care of the visualization set of requirement. So as of now, these are certain set of tools that we are going to use to implement different kind of techniques that we are going to go through within this particular program. See, this entire set of things we would have to look into from the background of the current technical changes which are happening out there. Okay, so emergence of a new technology or emergence of a new functionality of a particular technology, what it means, it basically provides a new opportunity of looking into a particular problem and solving it from a completely unexplored angle. Okay, now this basically provides both opportunities and challenges to a particular organization. Opportunities in what sense? If you're able to tap into that particular, hitherto unexplored territory, so you're going to enjoy certain set of advantages over your competitors. And challenges in terms of, basically, if some of your competitors basically beat you to this particular game, then you are going to be at a disadvantageous position. So from this particular angle, what we are going to do is the recent trends and challenges and stuff that we are looking into, we are going to divide it into two different streams. The first stream definitely would be related to emerging technologies and their capabilities. So here we're going to look into different set of things through the lens of digital transformation. We're going to talk about different emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, augmented reality, virtual reality. Okay, all this set of stuff. What is our objective? We are going to keep into our minds the HR context, what different HR problems that we have to solve day in and day out within a particular organization. Now, we are going to specifically look into the capabilities of this individual technologies, okay, and see what are the limitations, what are the advantages, what they can offer in a particular problem context, and what they would not be able to offer. And accordingly, what we are expecting our participants to be able to do after this particular module is over, we expect them to be well versed with the capabilities of different emerging technologies, what are the limitations, what are the challenges related to implementation of those particular set of technologies, and in case they decide to implement those technologies, how to navigate those particular set of challenges. So this is on one part. Here, what we are talking about the digital transformation part. Now, getting into a different part. So if we start thinking in terms of decision making, so then we would have to think in terms of data-driven decision making, so that more effective decisions can be made. We have started talking in terms of more optimal decision making in a particular organizational context. So in this particular case, we have started thinking in terms of HR analytics and stuff. So when we talk about HR analytics, when we talk about current trends and challenges, what we are going to talk about, what are the new set of trends which are happening over there. So in terms of any introduction of any new techniques in this particular space, take for example, the implementation and advent of generative AI. What does it mean for HR professionals? Okay, in what particular set of cases it can actually add meaningful value, in what particular cases it would not be able to provide any meaningful experience to the HR professionals. So this is the way in which we are going to divide this particular thing into two different streams. In one case, we are going to talk about current trends and challenges related to digital transformation. In the other case, we are going to talk about trends and challenges related to HR analytics and AI-driven initiatives in that particular case. Now, so we are going to dedicate specific sessions to take care of this particular set of topics. On top of this, what we are going to do, almost across different sessions, we are going to take up examples which are encouraged by real life organizational happenings. So this particular set of examples we are going to take up during different particular set of sessions to highlight what are the challenges, what are the problems that organizations are facing with respect to this, the current set of the current happenings or trends and stuff that we're going to talk about. So again, in keeping in line with our initial objective, we are going to expose the participants to both the conceptual part and also the techniques and hands-on application of those particular set of techniques. See, there are two different dimensions to this particular program. So one is definitely the digital transformation part, and the other one is where we are going to talk about HR analytics and related areas, maybe artificial intelligence, application of machine learning, and all those set of stuff. Now, how do these things come together? The basic objective, what we are going to look at is that any technology intervention, so how these technologies can be used to take care of operational requirements of a particular organization. So I have been solving a particular set of problems since the beginning. Now, do I have access to any new technology, any new tool or technique which would help me taking care of those particular set of requirements in a much more effective way? This is one part. Now, thinking from an organizational point of view, taking care of those requirements at the operational level, this is not sufficient. So what do I have to think? Whenever I'm going to introduce a particular technology, I'd have to think in terms of strategic alignment. Is my existing set of processes, are the existing set of, the portfolio of tools or techniques that we are using, so is it in alignment with any new technology that I'm introducing? Once you take care of the alignment part, then you would have to think in terms of strategic integration. So strategic integration is basically if you're able to perfectly integrate your existing set of processes, your existing way of doing things with the new age technology that we are talking about. In this particular case, what we are talking about, if perfect integration can be ensured, then this full complementarity, the entire set of complementary effect an organization would be able to unlock. Keeping all these things in mind, what we are going to do is, so this particular program has two distinct streams, two distinct overall modules. One particular module, we're going to talk about digital transformation and the implications of emerging technologies on your digital transformation capabilities. This is on one side. The other side is basically all these aspects that we are going to learn with respect to HR analytics. Okay. Now, very beautifully, this particular program has been divided into three different phases. Without getting into the nomenclature, what we are planning to do over here is, during the first phase, what participants would be getting, participants would be exposed to different emerging technologies. That means all these new age technologies that we talk about, machine learning, artificial intelligence, blockchain, AR, VR, okay, all this kind of stuff. What are the limitations, what they can do, what type of HR problems they can help us solve. What are the limitations? In what case one particular technology can be used? In what case we would have to go for some other technology, and all this related set of stuff that we are going to talk about. So during the first phase, they are going to get exposure to all these emerging technologies, their capabilities and stuff. Side by side, they would be introduced to the world of HR analytics. Now, when we are talking about HR analytics, we're going to start from very basics and we're going to take them to a very advanced level. Now, what do I mean over here? So in this particular case, we'll be starting with basics of statistics, okay, but how data has to be managed, how to make sense out of data, etc., etc. And increasingly, we're going to introduce newer topics to this particular set of people. Okay, so gradually, we're going to, within this particular module of artificial intelligence and HR analytics, gradually we're going to introduce them to different set of aspects like maybe human resources research methods. This is nothing but what is going to be the approach or phase-wise approach that you are going to take to solve a particular HR problem. See, problems can be purely technical, problems can be purely data-based. So when we talk about purely technical problems, so then basically all this exposure, the skills that they would be getting from our discussions on emerging technologies, this is going to help them. On the other hand, when we are going to talk about database decision making, in this particular case, they have to solve a particular problem. So they need to identify what is the problem that is plaguing my organization. Now, to solve this particular problem, they would have to identify what kind of data that I would be needing to solve this particular problem. Because no one is going to provide them with ready-made data and say that, okay, you please solve this and then accordingly take a decision what you want to do next. These guys, they would have to figure out what data do I have to collect so that I would be able to solve this particular problem on behalf of my organization. Okay, then they would be designing the way by which the data would be collected. So data collection instruments they are going to design, and we're going to talk about that once data is collected. So basically at this particular juncture, so they have got exposure to technology, they have got exposure to different analytics techniques, different research steps. At this particular point, the first phase would be ending. Okay, now there's going to be a break. How are they going to utilize this particular break? So basically at this particular point in time, they would be working with the instructors to fine tune the problems that they're trying to solve, the questions that they're trying to answer, and basically the way they are going to collect the data. Okay, now accordingly, this particular break they are going to utilize for data collection. Now after the break, when we meet for phase 2, what happens? They have collected certain set of data, so they have fairly good bit of understanding about the problem that they're trying to solve and the way this particular and what kind of insights that would be helping them to solve this particular problem. Now the second phase that we are going to talk about, in this phase they would be learning different ways of analyzing the data. So initially they would be going through different kind of techniques, what are the underlying assumptions, in which particular case what type of techniques would be used, so on and so forth. Okay, now keep in mind at this particular point in time, what they're sitting on some real life organizational data and a real life problem that they themselves have identified. Towards the end of it, because during this particular phase, we're going to introduce them to different data analysis techniques. There is going to be another break after this particular phase, during which what they're going to do, they would be working closely with the instructors and they are going to analyze their own data to call out certain set of insights. After this particular break, after the second break, when we reconvene for phase 2, at that particular point in time, they have fair bit of idea about what kind of analysis that they tried out on their own collected data, what kind of insights they could get from there. Now, the third phase, it's mostly regarding consolidation of the skills, the exposure, the knowledge that they have got through the earlier 2 phases. At this particular point in time, what we are going to discuss. So we have initially during the first phase, we discussed certain aspects of emerging technologies and stuff. Now, in this particular case, we'd come back and we try to provide a kind of conclusion there. How? We're going to we talked about different aspects, different capabilities of emerging technologies. We're trying to implement those in an organizational context. We're going to talk about what kind of problems that we're going to face there, possible challenges, and how can you get away from those particular set of challenges? How do you navigate through those particular set of challenges and come up victorious? So this is one part. On the other side, if we get into what happens in this AI based decision making, HR analytics and stuff, in this particular set, there are different teams. Different teams are working on different set of questions. They have come up with different kind of analysis on their data, different set of insights. So then we are going to, as a class, we are going to take a look at what individual analysis each of these different teams have come up with. So other teams would get a chance to take a look at what they have done, why they have done it so, and then if someone has to offer a bit of advice or two, they can offer that. So we are kind of providing a conclusion to this entire set of stuff on the side of on the HR analytics aspect. This particular side is getting concluded over here. Now within this third phase, the consolidation phase, we are also going to have a number of sessions which would be covering the current trends and challenges. In this particular case, we are going to talk about what are the different changes which are happening, what are the implications for organizations 5 years or 10 years down the line. HR functions, how are they going to look like? What are the things which should still be taken care of by human beings? What are the things which should be completely automated? How do you make a balance? So if you are planning that, okay, after 10 years I want to reach there, how do you take care of all those intermediate set of requirements so that without much troubles you'll be able to reach that ultimate state that you are aiming at. Okay, so this third phase that we talk about, this is basically it would be using this to consolidate the exposure, the skills, the knowledge that they have gathered through all these three different phases. So that's how we have thought of structuring this particular program. Talking about XLRI, so this is the oldest business school in the country. As a matter of fact, this year we are celebrating 75th years of inauguration of this particular institute. Now, talking about the quality of education that XLRI has been imparting for the last 75 years, so this is pretty evident by looking at the rankings which would be published by different reputed national and international ranking bodies. Okay, we have been consistently there within the first few schools in this entire country. Okay. Now, moving from there, if we talk specifically about human resource management, XLRI has been, without any question, it has been the number one. So there are certain set of rankings where XLRI has also consistently been ranked one in this entire Southeast Asia. Okay, so this is on one part. On the other side is basically the kind of contributions that the institute has been making in teaching, in research, consulting, and dissemination of management education towards different industry partners. Taking it from that particular point, we have been offering multiple flagship programs across business management and the human resource management sphere. In addition to this, we also provide, as an institute, different management development programs. So certain management development programs are in offline mode, certain sets of programs are there which are in online mode, and then there are certain set of hybrid kind of programs. Over and above this, we also provide in-company programs where either the company participants would be visiting the campus, or we, the instructors, would be going and visiting this particular organization's premises, and then maybe we'd have a training program or some kind of discussions going on over there. Okay. Now, talking specifically about this particular program, so we teamed up with Jaro Education. So this is not the only program that where we are collaborating with them. So there are multiple other programs where XLRI has been collaborating with them, and then our experience has been fantastic till date. Their eye for details, their sincerity, these are certain set of things which really set them apart from the other players within the same space. Okay. Now, in this particular case, for this particular program, what we are going to do is we are going to put together skill sets from different academic areas. Now, if we talk about the structure of XLRI, here we are basically we have been structured in different structural areas. For example, human resource management is there, quantitative technique is there, strategic management is there, management information systems, the information systems area that I belong to, this is there. Now, as for this particular program, what we're going to do is we're going to put together experienced faculty members from quantitative techniques, human resource management, strategic management, and information systems to interact with the participants. In addition to this, we have a very seasoned industry partner who would also be interacting with this particular set of participants and then taking different set of sessions, would be providing inputs from the industry requirements and their perspectives. Okay. Now, coming together, coming towards this particular fact that what we are going to expect from this particular set of participants, we're going to come over there. See, this particular program is going to be rigorous. At least that's the way we have tried to design this. If you interact, if you get a chance to talk to some of those people who have completed this particular program previous set of years, they will be able to tell you, this is not going to be a stroll in the park. We provide 2 breaks within this entire program, but then we expect the participants to make judicious use of those particular set of breaks. So during the first break, as I was talking earlier, so they would be taking care of data collection. Now, during this particular phase, it's not like that they forget completely about XLRI or the program. They would be in continuous touch with the instructors, and they would be reporting on the kind of progress that they're making over there. Okay. Same goes for the second break. In this particular break, they are going to apply the set of knowledge, skills that they have achieved regarding the different analytics techniques. Now, during this particular phase, it's also required, it's expected that the participants would report back saying that, okay, these are the challenges that we are facing, or these are the problems which need to be taken care of. There is a break. It does not mean that the participants would not be in touch with the instructors. Okay, so this is during this particular phase, it's basically expected the instructors are going to do, if required, they're going to do a little bit of hand-holding. Participants facing a particular issue, instructors would chip in, and then they are going to help the participants in solving this particular set of problems. In all those aspects, be it digital transformation part, be it the analytics part, we're going to introduce a lot of different set of concepts. We're going to introduce them to how to implement those particular set of concepts. We're going to start from the very basics, and we are going to take them to a pretty advanced level. So this is a very beautifully curated program in that sense. What we want from the participants, we know that these people, they're going to manage their work, they're going to manage their home, and along with this, they're going to manage the requirements of this particular program. But again, if you are ready to put in some additional effort, basically at the end of this particular course, the set of things that you are going to take from here, so this is going to help you immensely in your career. We want complete sincerity and dedication from the participants, and then we are not expecting them to give maybe 6 hours per day in studying the set of things that we are going to provide to them. The only expectation from them is be very attentive during the sessions, be regular to the sessions. We have certain attendance cap for them, okay, and interact wherever you want a particular clarification, wherever you want to contribute something to the discussion. We would be encouraging participants to interact with their batchmates, with instructors who are taking the classes. Okay. Apart from this, time to time, what we're going to do, we're going to give them certain set of assignments. We might ask that, okay, this is going to be the reading list. So please go through this particular set of stuff before you appear for the next session. So when we are specifying certain kind of requirements, certain kind of expectations to them, our expectation is that the participants would try to take care of those particular set of requirements before appearing for the next session. What it's going to ensure, this is going to ensure a seamless learning experience for them. Without this back-end preparations, suddenly the next set of topics that we're going to discuss during the next set of sessions, they might find it problematic, a little complicated to follow whatever is going on within the sessions. Okay, so complete dedication, sincerity, and it's a spread out program. It's going to cover almost 10 months, and then there are a couple of breaks. We would be expecting the students, the participants, to make the best use of the kind of opportunities that we are going to provide to them. Okay, and any kind of outside support that they might be needing, because this is not a particular program where the participants would get to interact with instructors only during the class time. Even outside the class timing, if they need certain set of clarifications, they need answer to a particular question, we encourage them to do it. And we are there to take care of any such academic requirements that they might be having. Okay, so we are ready to cooperate, and in exchange, we need a little bit of cooperation from the other side, some level of sincerity, some level of dedication, and we expect the kind of learning that they're going to take from this particular program. This is going to be a life-changing experience for them. One particular point that I would try to re-emphasize, that whenever we're talking about emerging technologies, whenever we're talking about new tools, techniques making their way into the HR practice, so this is not exactly that the roles or responsibilities of only senior people are going to change. Technology is going to change the role requirements, responsibilities, job descriptions of everyone involved. Okay. Taking it from there, this particular program has not been designed keeping in mind the requirements of only very senior level people, VPHR, SVPHR, or someone very high, taking all the decisions. It has been designed to take care of everyone who has got certain set of exposure to how complementarity between technology and HR processes can actually bring additional set of values to organizations. So in this particular program, the minimum experience eligibility, we have kept it at 4 years. Basically, with this particular thought that a particular person has worked with an organization with 4 years, this particular person has got enough opportunity to have some exposure to different HR processes, different sub-functions, and this particular person basically knows that, okay, what are the different things which go on within an organization's HR department. Also, roughly, the 4 years or a little bit of experience would give you enough idea about what are the digital touch points that you are using within your own work. So what are the points where you are interacting with a technology interface, you're interacting with a piece of software maybe. Okay, so if you decide to wait, just keep this in mind, it might be a little too late. Technology is here, change of technology, or rather the rate of change of technology is happening at a very alarming rate. HR professionals would have to be comfortable with technology. The rate of technology, new technology concepts, theories, ideas which are getting into this particular sphere. If you do not decide to do it now, you would have to get into this maybe 3 months later, 6 months later, or a year later. More than this, what we fear, if you try to shield yourself from going through such kind of programs, your skill sets by then might be obsolete for a particular organization. So that's the biggest fear that HR professionals within the organization or even their HR partners. So there are different set of people who would be helping organizations make HR related decisions from outside this particular organization, maybe in capacity of a consultant or something of that particular sort. This particular program has been designed keeping in mind the requirements of everyone. What is the beauty? The beauty is this is basically breadth-wise, this is broad enough, which would give everyone certain set of exposures to technologies, HR analytics, and related tools and techniques. Also, we have tried to introduce this particular element where, depending on the specialization or depending on the interest of a particular participant, we are going to give this particular person ample opportunity to get into the depths. That okay, I have learned roughly, what happens at a broad level, at a very high level, but then I want to specialize either in maybe requirement or in performance evaluation or in other sub functions. We're going to give ample opportunity for this particular person to do that. Okay, so if you are into a particular position within an organization, or if you are helping a particular organization make HR decisions, if you are formulating certain set of strategies, okay, if you have to use data to make certain set of decisions day in and day out, this particular program is perfect for you. Here, we're going to give you exposure to the technology part. We're going to give you exposure to the analytics part, so that at a very high level, we talked about operational application of certain set of technology interventions. We talked about strategic alignment. We talked about ensuring strategic integration. So this particular program is going to equip you with all the set of skills, knowledges, tools, and techniques, so that you would be able to navigate the challenges which are being imposed by very rapid change in the technology landscape outside. And as a result, if you compare yourself against your against others within your organization or your potential competitors, you would be pushed much ahead of them with this ready to use, very cutting edge kind of skill sets and knowledge about technology and analytics.